stupid son of a bitch.
Liz, speaking of inflation, this guy doesn't believe the numbers. He's swearing there at Peter Doocy because he thinks it's a stupid question about inflation.
Well, listen, the funniest part of this to me is that when Trump had a problem with a reporter, he at least had the guts to say it to the reporter's face. He'd tell the reporter, "Oh, that's an idiotic question. That's a stupid question." And you got to have some respect for that, right? Biden is such a coward that he says this, at least he thinks, behind the reporter's back. If you want to engage with a reporter, engage with a reporter. If you want to tell him it's a stupid question, then allow him to respond here, because this isn't a stupid question to the majority of Americans who actually are suffering from high inflation, who actually are suffering because the amount that they got, that their paychecks increased, doesn't even compensate for the increased prices of the consumer goods that they are buying for their family on a daily basis. It's not a stupid question, but of course, the mainstream media will either champion this as Biden just being his feisty old self or something ridiculous, or they'll ignore it, even though, of course, that's the opposite of what they did when Trump would challenge any reporter.
You know, Trish, what's concerning about this to me is actually, if he really does think it's a stupid question, we obviously heard Biden last week say that he doesn't believe the polls when it comes to his approval rating. He doesn't think that shelves are empty. Is this White House patting him from reality of what Americans are living on a daily basis, that he's literally telling a reporter that this is a stupid question and swearing at him?
I think that he's so divorced from reality, and there's a bunch of yes men around him that, to your point, Lindsay, yes, he doesn't quite comprehend how bad it is. I mean, I think that's quite evident, because he just, he was elected because some people saw him as the everyday man, right? The everyday Joe. They thought he was the nice guy in the basement. And instead they found out, maybe he's not that nice, and he's not that equipped for this office in terms of his ability to understand, both on the international front and the economic front, what's really going on. But what struck me about this, to get to what Liz was saying, is just sort of the indifference, right? I mean, this is the issue that is hitting everybody really, really hard. These pocketbook issues that matter, right? When gas prices are up 50% from this time last year, it costs 59% more to heat your home. This takes money right out of everybody's pocketbook. So these are the questions reporters should be asking. And Peter Doocy actually asked him, can we talk about inflation? And then followed up with, do you see inflation as a political liability? And, Biden's out there being Mr. Sarcastic. Sarcasm has no place right now as we talk about this issue. He needs to confront the reality that is inflation, that is destroying the economic livelihood of so many Americans.